Hey, what's going on? Brian here. And if you're an e-commerce seller and you've tried running Facebook ads, you've probably been less than impressed with the result. Am I right? And you've probably thought to yourself, man, if I could just get the targeting down, then these ads would finally convert. In fact, this is probably the most common question I get whenever I present Facebook ads to my students at events. It's always, how do I find my customer? How do I get the targeting down because my ads aren't converting? And what always comes up is it's almost like no matter how big of a discount you give, they don't convert. In fact, if you're at 50% and you go to 90%, it's almost like the ad converts worse. Well, here's the reason. You have to understand one big thing about Facebook. See, Facebook is interruption marketing. That's very different than search-based marketing or when the customer has search intent, like Google or Amazon, where they're typing in the word of the product that they want. The way that most e-commerce sellers market on Facebook, it's kind of like the guy who, I don't know if this ever happened to you where you're like at a corner with your buddy or with your friend and like some dude pulls up in a white van. He's like, hey, I've got some speakers in the back. They're 50% off. And you're like, no, I'm good, man. Thanks. All right, fine. Just for you. Just because you're you, 90% off. And then it's even creepier and even more annoying. Like, no, go away. However, had you had some touch point with that guy, let's say you were walking by the speaker store and maybe you had a conversation with him and he just kind of talked to you about the speakers that they had, asked you a couple questions, there was some interaction and gave you some suggestions possibly in the future that would help you pick the right speaker for your house and your setup, and then you saw him, now there was a touch point. Right? Now there was some relationship and you're going to recognize them. Well, that's the same thing you have to do on Facebook. See, that first touch point, you don't want it to be an offer. You actually want to create some kind of relationship. And how do you do that? Well, I'm a big fan of using video or some other type of ad that gives value first. And all you want to do is you want to have that touch point so that they learn more about your story, about your mission, about your product, about which products would be best for them, whether it's your product or not. If it's speakers, which are the best speakers for them based on their home or their setup or what sound they prefer. See, when you have that initial touch point, now when we retarget, when we come back around, now there's some relationship and at least they recognize you, instead of being the creepy dude in the white van. So the takeaway from today is don't be the creepy dude in the white van selling speakers at 50 to 90% off. Have a touch point, develop some kind of initial relationship so that you add value to your prospect's life and to their understanding of your product or of that niche that you're in. And then in that next interaction, then consider offering them a product or a discount or an opportunity to test your product. Hope that helps. Again, lesson of the day, don't be the creepy dude in the white van. All right, take it easy.